So hello to everybody, good morning. We are giving the webinar now on the first open call for the CloudiFacturing project. And I'm giving the talk together with my colleague from the University of Westminster, Dr. Tamas. And so we are sharing the presentation. Tamas will later on talk about certain. I'm getting a lot of noise now. Tamas will later on talk about certain documents that are important for you when you would like to apply for the open call. And I like to introduce you to our project. So my name is Stork. I'm the founder of IGD, and I am the coordinator of the CloudiFacturing project. So we have structured our presentation according to 4 simple takeaway messages for you. So first of all, we're going to present what CloudiFacturing is and how does it relate to the I4MS ecosystem. So I will shortly talk about I4MS. Then we give examples on how partners can and have benefited from the CloudiFacturing project. We talk about how you can participate and what are the next steps to get involved with us. So let me start with I4MS. I4MS stands for ICT innovation in the manufacturing industry, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises. It is a program of the European Commission. It's now in its 3rd phase. And the program is designed to help SMEs from the manufacturing sector to innovate. The European Commission has set up this program in a way so that these innovation actions for the SMEs getting co-funds from European money. For you, what is important to know, you see it on the right-hand side, is that I4MS in the meantime has built up a large, huge ecosystem of so-called competence centers and digital innovation hubs, DIHs, and CloudiFacturing consists of many of those competence centers and digital innovation hubs already. So I will especially talk about our DIHs later on in the presentation. What does it all mean for you? It means that a lot of expertise is already available that you can benefit from if you apply to our open call and if you share our project. And not only the expertise that we provide may be important for you, also the opportunity to expand your network over your regional, reach out, so to say. So those things we have heard from our SMEs already in the past, that they really appreciated being part of the project to be able to get to know new people also in different countries. And this concept of working together in different European concepts, in different European countries, is also part of the concept of our application experiments. I'm going to talk about this later as well. So coming to CloudiFacturing, CloudiFacturing is one of the projects which is running in the I4MS program, and we are aiming at cloudifying production engineering tools for predictive digital manufacturing. So the mission of CloudiFacturing is to optimize production processes and manufacturability using cloud and HPC-based modeling and simulation tools. So being it CAD or CAE for simulating, for instance, certain deformation behavior, certain heat transfer behavior, certain fluid behavior, leveraging also online factory data and advanced data analytics. I think the transmission has been stopped. I don't know why. Okay. Advanced data analytics to contribute to your competitiveness and resource efficiency, actually to close the loop and to foster the vision of Industry 4.0, Factories 4.0, and the circular economy. So the idea is not only to look into the forward-directed processes from modeling and simulation to the actual manufacturing and production, but also closing the loop, taking big data, taking data from the shop floor and trying to improve the prediction and the predictability and the prediction quality using simulation approaches. Okay, having said this in long words, what it actually boils down to is that we want to provide you an opportunity to become more competitive. That is the key message that you should take with you from this slide here. So CloudiFacturing is a consortium of more than 30 partners which want to help you to access and to have an affordable application of tools that you otherwise wouldn't use in HPC and cloud-based setups. So what do we already do in terms of application experiments, and what are the predictions of our current experiment partners in terms of their increased competitiveness? So our current experiments are predicting to create new products and services, to increase the turnover by up to 2 million euros, to increase employment, and create new contacts to partners in other countries, etc., etc. So these finding new business processes, new business models, using cloud-based approaches and reducing the time to market and improving customer satisfaction, those are all economic benefits that also are backed up with technology impact on technical impact that the different experiments are implementing in different application scenarios, in different use cases. And here you have an overview over the current application experiments. So they are covering fields like optimized design and production of electric drives, improving production processes based on resin and fusion, addressing hydraulic electro valves, improvement by big data analytics approaches, modeling and simulation heat treating processes to improve the manufacturing machine here, which is an oven for solar panels. So optimizing solar panel production, optimizing the efficiency of the assembling of truck components by big data analytics, and finally simulating and improving logistics processes in the food packaging industry. So we have those 7 experiments currently running, and now we are opening up for new experiments of a similar but not the same type. Tamas will talk about that later on. Well, if you are not convinced about just predictions, we can also give you examples from projects that we have run in the past. So this is an example from a biomass boiler, a company from Spain that co-developed that together with other partners from the preceding project. The technical impact is that they were able to reduce the amount of material used by 18 kilograms, saving the total cost of the boiler by 15% and accelerating the development cycles quite tremendously. So instead of building the boilers physically, they build more now in just a virtual form. They simulate with numerical solvers, and they predict the behavior, and they optimize the shape of the internals of the boiler to become more efficient with less weight and less cost, which enables them to access new markets in Spain, but also expand to new markets in other countries. So for instance, they have won the German Design Award this year which will increase their income later on and also contribute to their job creation. So I think this is a nice example how such an experiment can contribute to the competitiveness of a small and medium-sized enterprise such as BioCurve. Another example from the past is on design and customization of insoles for safety shoes, an experiment that has run cross borders or cross country with partners involved from Italy and Spain. And they were using and actually opening up new ways to access simulation in the cloud, from the cloud, reducing design and validation time. And validation has become feasible in a remote setup. So the economic impact here is improved customer satisfaction, new products and services, and an increased turnover predicted by the experiment partners here by almost 1 million euros. So why should you care? Why should you participate? Well, we offer you the possibility to actually access and gather experience. I think this is the best wording here, with HPC and cloud-based computing, to use them and to leverage them and to exploit them for your manufacturability and production process optimization challenges, and so you can explore the technical benefits of HPC and cloud computing, which for instance means that you can shorten your compute times by orders of magnitude by running parallel simulations, or you can increase the accuracy of the simulation performance by running better simulations, transient simulations, higher resolution, all in the same time that you were used to not using HPC computing. And you don't have to invest in these large machines. You don't have to invest in people that know how to operate HPC computers. That's all provided by the CloudiFacturing consortium. You can further exploit information discovered from your factory data, trying to use the data for improving the processes even further. You have possibilities to assess cloud-based business models such as pay-per-use models. You can also leverage our digital marketplace as a new distribution channel. So we are building up a website where all the partners in the future have a chance to be present, to disseminate their results, to also acquire new customers. And we build up this kind of ecosystem as a part of the i4MS ecosystem, which gives you an extended reach out, a much larger reach out, or at least an additional way to broaden your reach out in a combination to the dissemination actions that you do anyways. As I mentioned already, possibility to participate in the H2020 i4MS ecosystem, which is especially interesting for small and medium-sized enterprises. That's the feedback that we have from many of our SMEs. And last but not least, we will co-fund the experiments by an amount of more than 700,000 euros, and we plan to fund 7 experiments with this amount of funding. So what do we provide? We have a cloud platform which is vendor independent, so there is no vendor lock-in with our cloud platform. We have a middleware platform where different cloud platforms can be used underneath. We have tailored access to HPC resources. We increase visibility through online channels and by participating at large European events, for instance, Hannover Fair, or the European ICT conference, where we are always present and disseminate the results of our project and the experiments. We allow an access to an international network within Europe. We allow for exploitation and enable and support exploitation via our digital marketplace in the future. In addition, we offer consultancy on business models and human factors development. So we have two partners which will accompany your experiments by the corresponding institutes, and we have also independent validation from experiments against identified requirements. So at the beginning of your experiment and at the beginning of your proposal writing, you for sure will identify requirements, and we will track them, and we will help you to evaluate to which extent they have been realized. So in sum, we can say that we will bring in our experience from more than 30 experiments that we already executed in CloudiFacturing and the preceding projects. So how can you participate and benefit? Well, there is just one way for doing that, and that is proposing an application experiment to our open call, and then of course getting selected. So the open call is a competitive call, and we may not be able to fund all the proposals that we will receive. In any case, the application experiments have to present an innovative idea addressing a challenge in your current development and or production process. So as I said before, manufacturability or manufacturing process optimization are the key challenges that we are interested in CloudiFacturing, and to show that the application experiment, once the challenge is solved, creates real impact value for you in a technical but also in an economic sense. So our use cases, also known as application experiments, shall simulate manufacturing processes and or manufacturing tools, leverage factory data to learn from it to optimize manufacturing processes or the manufacturability of the products. So these are key elements of the application experiments content-wise. When we come to the consortium, so an experiment has to be provided by a small consortium. The consortium has to exist at least of two partners, one end user and an ISV, an independent software vendor, or a value-added reseller, which can be a consultant. In addition to that, we allow for research organizations to be part of the consortium, HPC providers, or digital hubs. So there are some constraints to the experiment consortium. One I mentioned already. This is the minimum number of partners and the type of numbers we require end users and an ISV or value-added reseller. Plus, the experiment has to be cross-border, so the parties must be located in at least 2 different European countries. We welcome a high rate of SME participation or mid-caps. SMEs, by the definition of the European Commission, are companies up to 250 employees and mid-caps up to 3,000 employees. And if we're talking about SMEs, then we mean both types of organizations. And there has to be a newness to the application experiment, and newness here is considered as those experiment providers, the end users, should be new to the technology. So it should be their first attempt to use the CloudiFacturing technology under concern, so to say. So they may have used simulation technology in the past, but not in a cloud or HPC-based setup, for instance, or they want to use big data analytics for the first time to optimize their processes. So it should not be the case that they normally use it already and now they just use it the endless first additional time. So newness has to be part. Innovation and newness are important for the experiment content. So what is the schedule here? We will open our call 1st of July. That's why we inform you now by end of June. And then you have 3 months time to prepare your proposal. The selection process involving independent experts is running in October and November. We are planning to inform the proposers by the beginning of December about acceptance or rejection of the ideas. And then we enter the contracting phase. And finally, we want to kick off the new experiments in January 2019. And the experiments are about to last for 1 year. So please present a timeline for your experiment with a duration of 1 year, including also finalization and evaluation and validation of the final results of your experiment. So where do you find further information? Well, of course, on our webpage, it's cloudifacturing.eu. You also have a description of the ongoing experiments under the link Our First Experiments. When you suggest something, the new experiments, as I mentioned before, shall be different from the ones that we already have. And different means here that you should not simulate the same process, the same production process for the same I always get some popping up windows here. That's kind of disturbing me. So the experiments that you present should be different than what we already have, and different means not the same processes, not for the same products. That's why you should have a look into what we are currently doing. So now you should see a slide which is talking about important documents. Is this slide on your screen?
No, Andre, I think you should press on the share screen button because something went wrong. Okay, now we can see it.
No, but now you see the wrong presentation.
I can see a whole presentation.
Strange. Okay, important documents. I will forward to Tamas in a minute, and he will present you those documents that are mentioned here. First, the guide for applicants and the proposal template. They are of huge importance. So the guide for applicants contains many details that you have to know for proposing a successful proposal. And the proposal template is a template to be filled for the preparation of an experiment proposal. In addition to those ones where you find the links already, we will have more information on our website soon, which is the model contract. So this is the contract that applicants have to sign with the coordinator, which is Fraunhofer in this case, once you are selected. We will also publish a short technical document on the CFG. CFG stands for CloudiFacturing, the CloudiFacturing platform that gives you an insight into how our platform looks like, to which the software providers have to deploy their software. And then there is a less important text for you. It is the official call text. So it does not contain more information than the guide for applicants. It's just a downscript version of the guide for applicants that contain important links and important information for people that are not participating in this webinar. And finally, we have a frequently asked question list out under the link that you see there. Okay. So what can you do next? Right after Tamas is talking about the two documents, you can ask us any questions. So we have reserved 90 minutes time. So after our presentation, you have the opportunity to ask us. What else can and should you do? You should collaborate with our digital innovation hubs. You see a map on the right-hand side, and the digital innovation hubs have a certain spread over European regions, and they are part of the CloudiFacturing consortium to help you in working out good proposals. So we have DIHs in different regions, people with different language skills that can talk to you in your native language, at least in some of the European languages, that may help discussing ideas and working out the way forward. And also those DIHs will later on then accompany you in your experiment. Here is a list of contact people. You will get the slides later on anyways. I don't have to go through them in detail, but you see we are already present in 5 European countries, and they are kind of volunteering, or they have the task to be your contacts for certain regions. And if you are in a region where you're not sure to which DIH you should talk to, just contact any of them, and they will then forward you to the right one. So they will also interact amongst each other. So if you are looking for a partner in a different European country, the DIHs will help you as well. And we, as the management team, we are the backups for the DIHs. So if you have questions that a DIH cannot respond to directly, then there is the whole set of the competence centers and the management team, which is supporting the DIHs, of course. Good, that's my part. Now I think that Olivia or Maria should give the moderator role to Tamas, so that Tamas can go into the 2 documents that I just mentioned. And after doing that, we have the Q&A session.